good evening. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Newswatch here on Hope TV. My name is Melissa Odor. Boniface Muredi is helping us with the sign language. Newswatch begins now. Kenya continues to reel from the shocking news of the death of former Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha. The news of his sudden death filled the airwaves and screens last night as an outpouring of condolences began streaming in on both traditional and social media. Now, his death comes barely 2 weeks after he took up the job of Professor of Surgery at the Maseno University upon exiting government as the Education Cabinet Secretary as the Jubilee government's tenure came to an end. Eulogized Professor George Omore Magoha a day after his passing on. Former head of state Uhuru Kenyatta has eulogized Magoha, who served as the Cabinet Secretary for Education in his government for 3 years, as a celebrated academic who leaves behind a strong legacy of public service. Education CS Ezekiel Machogu has mourned his predecessor as a consummate and dedicated public servant whose contributions in the medical and education fields will remain indelible. And as Kennedy Kimani now reports, Magoha's death is a big blow to his family as they were set to bury his late brother, Professor Richard Magoha, this Saturday.
With the curtains having fallen on Professor George Magoha, former President Uhuru Kenyatta has joined Kenyans in eulogizing the former Education CS. Kenyatta has eulogized Magoha, who served in his government for 3 years as a celebrated academic who leaves behind a strong legacy of public service. Magoha's successor, Ezekiel Machogu, has mounted Magoha as a consummate and dedicated public servant. KMPDU has mounted former Education CS as true visionary leader in the education and health sectors. In a statement, KMPDU said Magoha's contribution in the two sectors will have a lasting impact.
Magoha was such a doctor who gave everyone opportunity to talk, irrespective of the level of education you had. You know, in my field, we deal with drugs. Yeah, a medical representative. He gave everyone chance to talk, irrespective of who you are, irrespective of the kind of grade you got.
Now I remember Professor Magoha because of strict measures that he had put in education sector. He was a very nice gentleman, and he was a very nice gentleman. But our measures were very strict in school. There were no leakages and so on. So everything was working well, and that's all I can say about him.
Tunakumbuka Magoha as being instrumental in shaping education system. Na alifanya so many changes in policies regarding medicine and education, and we are thankful for him.
Magoha died aged 71 at the Nairobi hospital on Tuesday after suffering a cardiac arrest. Prior to his appointment as the Education CS in Uhuru's government, Magoha chaired the Kenya National Examinations Council NEC from 2016 to 2019, which he joined from the University of Nairobi, where he had been the Vice Chancellor since 2005 to 2015. Upon leaving government, Magoha was named a Professor of Surgery at Maseno University, School of Medicine. Magoha's death is a big blow to his family as they were set to bury his late brother, Professor Richard Magoha, this Saturday. However, many have eulogized Magoha as an icon who believed in the sanctity of education, and his legacy will live on. Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV Newswatch at the Lee Funeral Home, Nairobi.
Now, many Kenyans can remember Professor George Magoha's tenure in the Education Ministry, where he initiated key reforms and the country's second education curriculum, the competency-based curriculum CBC. As a medical doctor, Professor Magoha ventured into the education world and was most known for his tenure in various institutions such as the Nairobi University, where he served as the Vice Chancellor. Here now is a brief history on the life and times of Professor George Albert Omore Magoha.
Professor George Albert Omore Magoha was born in Kisumu on the 2nd of July 1952. He began his education at Yala Primary and later transferred to Dr. Livingstone Primary School in Makadara, Nairobi. Magoha then attended Starehe Boys Center, where he completed his O-level studies and later proceeded to Strathmore School for his A-level education, graduating with a high school diploma. He furthered his studies in surgery and urology at various universities such as the Lagos University Teaching Hospital and Royal Postgraduate Medical School Hammersmith Hospital, London, Department of Urology, where he earned various academic awards. It was at the Lagos University where Magoha began his teaching career before joining the University of Nairobi UON as a lecturer in urological surgery in 1988. At UON, the former cabinet secretary served in various administrative positions, including the deputy vice chancellor in charge of administration and finance. In January 2005, Magoha became the first vice chancellor to be competitively appointed to the position after he scored the highest marks during the interviews. His remarkable achievement as the UON vice chancellor was instituting discipline among the academic staff, non-teaching staff and students, and steering the university to achieve excellent rating in the performance contracting evaluation for government institutions. In 2016, with his record as a no-nonsense education administrator, he was appointed the chairman of the Kenya National Examination Council by former President Uhuru Kenyatta. His immediate task was to reform the council to arrest the widespread academic dishonesty and corruption in the administration of national examinations. Professor Magoha is credited for having dismantled cartels that had propagated examination cheating for years and restoring credibility of exams in the country. On 1st March 2019, he was nominated as the Cabinet Secretary for Education, replacing Amina Mohammed, who was transferred to the sports docket. At the Education Ministry, Magoha is remembered for actively initiating the 100% transition from primary to secondary schools, as well as implementing the CBC curriculum, whose pioneer students sat their national exams in 2022. During his tenure, Professor Magoha also oversaw the construction of 10,000 CBC classrooms to aid in a smooth transition of learners to junior high school. Following the end of the Jubilee administration after the August 9, 2022 general election, Magoha on January 17th made a comeback to the classroom as a university don at the Maseno University. The former education CS leaves behind his beloved wife, Dr. Barbara Odudu, a gynecologist of Nigerian origin. They were blessed with one child, Michael Augustus Magoha, who is also a doctor by profession. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Grace Ahati.
And in honor of the legacy left behind by Professor George Magoha, Siaya Governor James Orengo has today launched a 75 million shilling bursary scheme. Orengo said that Magoha, apart from being a great son of Siaya County, served the country well in many capacities in and out of the country. Orengo, who had earlier led top county government officials and the public present in observing a minute of silence in honor of the late Professor Magoha, said Kenyans must continue working hard in their respective fields in honor of the professor who left a mark as a no-nonsense cabinet secretary for education, where he is credited with bringing sanity to the country's national exams. On bursaries, Orengo appeals to the ward administrators and other officials involved in selection of learners set to benefit from bursaries to be transparent and uphold integrity in the process.
It is in fact at this moment of grief and sorrow, not only for the people of Siaya, but for the entire republic, that we remember our great professor and former county secretary for education, Professor Magoha, and not just him, members of his family who have also passed away in the few weeks past. And I want to say, in memory of Professor Magoha, that he was a great son of this county. He served well in many capacities as we launch bursaries and scholarships. We do so in honor and in appreciation of a great son of Siaya, Professor Magoha. This is just the launch of the bursary project that is going to cascade into the counties. The Deputy Governor and I and the CECs, we are going to visit every ward. We can form separate teams so that we go to the wards where the beneficiaries are, so that we do these things at the grassroots level. One of the reasons why we want to do that, we want to make sure, as the names are read out, and I appreciate the work which has been done by the ward administrators and your colleagues in the sub-county. It is one of the ways for us to determine whether or not in any particular ward it is the needy students who have received or who are going to receive these scholarships.
To other matters now, the National Treasury has finally released the 4 billion shillings for the second tranche of the National Government Constituency Development Fund, NGCDF. Members of Parliament who were present at the induction session of members of House Committees meeting confirmed that the government had disbursed the fund into the NGCDF kitty. National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula is reported to have brokered a truce between the two factions. The MPs, however, claimed that Cabinet Secretary Njuguna Ndongo still owes them 12 billion shillings. The MPs agreed to continue with the induction meeting taking place in Mombasa after staging a walkout on 2 consecutive days.
And these delays have been occasioned by the timing. As you are aware, we have our schools reopening, and the government facilitates every pupil and every student with capitation money. This is a very urgent need for the government, and therefore resources have gone into facilitating our schools to be able to reopen efficiently.
Spika amekuja ameweza kuleta suluhu kwamba hizi pesa zimeanza kutumwa katika account ya kila constituency vile alivyoeleza kinara wetu, na kwa hivyo tunashukuru Rais pamoja na Treasury kwa kuanza na kusikiza ile matakwa ambayo wajumbe walikuwa wanatetea.
Kwa hiyo tunataka kusema hata hizo siku mbili kama wabunge wasionekane na Wakenya kama hawakufanya kazi. Ni kazi tumefanya, ile kazi inaitwa representation, na hiyo representation tumefanya hiyo siku mbili ili hiyo bilioni 4 ikaweza kupatikana.
Kuomba msamaha kwa kukosa kutupatia pesa vile waliahidi. Ya pili ni kwamba kufikia leo tumepata pesa kama bilioni 4. Jana na leo imekuwa bilioni 4, so na wiki ijayo tutakuwa tumefikisha bilioni 10. Tunataka kusema ya kwamba hiyo tutakuwa tumekaribia ile bajeti ambayo inahitajika katika basari, ambaye watu wanahitaji kama 50 million ndio waweze kupeana basari.
That story takes us to a first short break here on Hope TV Newswatch. We'll be right back with many more news items.
This week on Testify.
What had you applied to do in college?
Aeronautical engineering. Yeah.
Okay, so an engineer has decided, you know what?
Yeah.
We are serving Jesus, okay.
Yeah. One day the Lord gave me an instruction that you guys preach a lot in the street. I want you to go to the streets and praise me for 21 days. Non-stop.
Hope TV. Look and
expect the unexpected on the Stars Show.
It's forever enough, always enough.
Anything goes from singing, dance to gymnastics to mind-blowing art. All you need is a skill and a style quality.
Make sure it is very straight and clean.
Just remember to join us every Saturday with me, your host, Tamika Arnett.
Welcome back. Our President William Ruto has challenged his fellow African leaders to take the discourse on agriculture beyond production to value addition and manufacturing. He said Africa has the potential to produce surplus food for export. He noted that this can generate more income and create jobs, especially for the youth. Speaking during the Dakar 2 Summit Feed Africa in Senegal, President Ruto said these are the initiatives that will transform Africa. In panel discussions of 10 heads of state and governments, President Ruto said the upscaling of agriculture in the continent would require the right output, technology, enhanced irrigation and mechanization. President Samia Suluhu told the summit that Tanzania has committed resources to help the youth acquire agricultural land and support them to pursue agribusiness. On his part, the African Development Bank AFDB President Aki Numi Adesina called on Africa to utilize its huge arable land to feed itself.
We are expanding our fertilizer input this year. We have 600,000 metric tons made available to farmers, and it is so clear to us as government that the application of fertilizer, the amount is directly proportional to the output of our agricultural sector. There is no magic, there is no miracle. It's just if you have sufficient fertilizer in the correct quantities, in the correct prescription, you get the outcome. Number two, we are increasing our farming under irrigation from 650,000 acres to 3 million acres in the next 5 years. And we have roped in the private sector to provide construction of dams. We are building 100 mega dams in Kenya and 1,000 micro dams to support our irrigation potential and production.
To some politics now, some Kenya Kwanza Coalition ward representatives in the Nairobi County Assembly have lambasted Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja, accusing him of relaxing in his job. According to the leaders, Governor Sakaja has failed to perform his duties as governor and is instead appearing to be running opposition politics. The MCAs have now threatened to remove him from office if he does not serve Nairobi residents.
Advise the governor to concentrate on the mandate that the Nairobians elected him to do. Service delivery, let's do projects within the wards. These other political sideshows need to end. We yesterday I also heard during the Azimio rally, he was congratulated.
He has hardly been paid 6 salaries, yet every day he's here in choppers and having parties and throwing parties and throwing all manner of things all over Nairobi. And we want to appeal to him to respect the people who elected him, to respect his party leader. We are also aware that he is short of challenging the party. And as a party, we are telling him, if he wants a challenge, we are welcoming him to a contest. We are going to compete, and it's not going to be easy. Not just for him, but just even for the people of Nairobi.
And representatives of the Narok County Assembly have cautioned their Senator Ledama Olekina against comments he recently made on social media. The leaders say Senator Olekina is disrupting the county's development agenda by other senior officials of the Narok County government and describing them as visionless leaders. Led by House Majority Leader Dominic Sonkoi Lemain, they called on Senator Olekina to come forward with evidence on allegations of embezzlement and corruption that he had posted online.
Tumekuja kutoa statement kwa sababu ya haya mambo ambao tumesikia kule nje kwa tweet, kwa Facebook in regard to what Ledama is actually trying to demean the development agenda ya maward zetu. Procurement processes imefanywa ya hizo machinery na tayari nimesoma kwa statement kwamba county government iko tayari kuanza kazi ya development very soon, na hakuna sheria ambayo imefunjwa hapo. Sisi tuko hapo na tumepitisha mambo yote kwa assembly ambayo inahusika na development ya budget. Kwa hivyo ningetaka tu kuambia kwamba we are set as a county government na kusupport our able government.
I'm leading an assembly that is very competent to perform its duties in the county level. An assembly that is competent to oversight the executive. But Also in the law, oversight is limited to where are we, because you cannot mention anything like our dear senator is doing when the process of procurement is ongoing. When nothing wrong has been mentioned yet and nothing wrong has been done, you cannot run around and say something wrong has been done. But the assembly I'm leading is competent to point out on where they feel it's not within the law.
And parents of Nyabiosi Secondary School in Kisii County have demonstrated over the poor performance of the 2022 KCSE exams by the students. The parents said they were unhappy with the performance, attributing the poor results to the new principal. They allege that the principal, Patrick Michira, is not in good terms with the teachers and parents. Now, in the results, the first candidate in the school scored a D+, while the rest got E grades, while the school got an overall mean grade of 2.33. The parents say that most of the schools in the Gusii region performed well and demanded that the government must transfer the principal and install a new one for better performance. Now, the principal was away on official duty in Kisumu at the time of the demonstrations. Our former President Uhuru Kenyatta has called for cessation of hostilities and adherence to the Luanda-Nairobi Peace Process Pacts following the deterioration of the peace situation in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. President Kenyatta, who is the facilitator of the EAC peace process in the eastern DRC, has expressed concern following the breakout of serious fighting in DRC's North Kivu region, leading to targeted killings of civilians by armed groups and thousands of internally displaced people. The former president has urged the DRC government and the international community to step up their support to the IDPs. This comes even as the Rwandan government has said that a fighter jet from the DRC violated its airspace on Tuesday as tensions soar between the neighbors over the DRC's volatile east.
I am encouraged by the progress made so far in facilitating dialogue, negotiations, and the peaceful resolution of conflict in our brotherly neighbor and brotherly country, the Democratic Republic of Congo. This effort and the promising start is significant due to the support and dedication of the chairperson of the East African Community, His Excellency Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, towards the restoration of peace and stability in Eastern DRC. It is important that we also appreciate with gratitude the role played by His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta as he continues to play the role as chief facilitator of the Nairobi process.
More regional matters, the East African Community EAC has officially launched a verification mission to assess the Federal Republic of Somalia's readiness to join the regional bloc. The mission, led by Thierry Marie Rose from Burundi, commenced the process in Mogadishu. The verification team in Mogadishu comprises senior officials from all EAC partner states. The EAC Secretary General Peter Mathuki said the team will engage Somalia to ensure the verification is finalized and a report is presented to the EAC Council of Ministers, who will table it before the summit of EAC heads of state by the end of February this year. Somalia's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation reiterated the country's keenness to join the bloc, which currently comprises 7 partner states, including Burundi, Democratic Republic of Congo, Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan, Tanzania, and Uganda.
Ensuring good health and promoting well-being of all people is important in building a prosperous society. On Health Check, you get informed and empowered on various medical conditions, their treatment and preventive measures.
When you ignore gum disease, then the same tooth will start to appear slightly longer.
You also get your health question answered live by our doctors in studio.
The medication she's receiving is for the nostrils.
This child should be feeding enough to gain weight.
And you do a little
bit of exercise. It even helps with the breast milk.
If you feel like you have an instinct that things aren't quite where they should be for your child, the onus is on you to seek an evaluation.
This is to help you make best choices about your health and your well-being. Stay tuned for brand new episodes of Health Check with me, Grace Mutiso, every Tuesday on Hope TV. Look and live.
To business now, Pesapal has launched a new forecourt management solution that allows customers to make their purchases in a single harmonized transaction while fuel operators quickly and securely authorize transactions. I beg your pardon. Now, the solution developed specifically for Africa will enable Pesapal to offer their customers in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania a better service and promote an all-inclusive experience. The service delivers integrated payments alongside monitoring and data tools as it drives the automation of fuel and retail management processes and seamlessly connects distribution points and digital payments. Pesapal CEO Augusta Liko said with the Pesapal forecourt management solution, petrol station owners can remotely monitor and control LPG and fuel dispensers. The solution automates how these talk to tank gauges, price displays, and payment systems, which integrates mobile money, cards, and online payments. To some sports now, Athletics Kenya track and field season kicks off on Friday this week, following the conclusion of the cross-country series last weekend at the Prisons Training College in Roiro. The track and field season kicks off with the AK sprints, middle distance, and field events build-up competition at Mumias Sports Complex on Friday and Saturday. The event was initially scheduled to be held at the Bukhungu Stadium in Kakamega, but was moved to Mumias Sports Complex according to a statement from Athletics Kenya. Now, athletes will compete in 100 meters, 100 meters by 110-meter hurdles, 200 meters, 400 meters, 400-meter hurdles, 800 meters, 1,500 meters, and 4x100 for both men and women. Top athletes, among them Commonwealth 800 meters champion Mary Mora, are expected to start their season at Mumias. And KCBFC came from behind to settle for a 1-1 draw with Posta Rangers in a hard-fought midweek clash at Kasarani Annex. Hani Fasonga's second-half penalties earned KCB a point, cancelling Posta's early lead. KCB head coach Zedekiah Ziko Otieno made 3 changes in the starting lineup, with Bramwell Kiptoo, Stephen Mwangi, and Edmond Adem earning their first starts in the league of this season. The home side pushed its opponents but could not find the back of the net as Kenyan international Harun Mwale missed a glorious opportunity to give KCB 3 points. The Bankers will travel to Muhoroni in their next fixture before facing Wazito FC on Saturday.
Tumepatia wachezaji wengine pia nafasi ya kuweza kujionyesha na tunashukuru sana kwa performance ambazo wameweza kutupatia leo, but all in all naweza sema kwamba tumeweza kusukuma game na kuweza kuona kama tunaweza pata ushindi. Tunaweza pata kuona kwamba tuliweza concede mapema sana, tuliconcede la first quarter ya game, so tumekuwa tukichase game all through, but kupata point moja tunashukuru sababu tunaelewa kwamba ligi ni marathon. Tuko frustrated kwa sababu 1 point pia ni better than losing, so 1 point inaweza tukari somewhere, but all in all lazima tuweze kuweza kuona how best tunaweza win. Kuna timu yote ambayo ni timu ndogo katika Kenya Premier League, so tunawa respect kama wapinzani wetu, so wameweza kujikakamua wakaweza kupata point moja kutoka kwetu, so kwetu ni kurudi tu kuweza kuona how best tunaweza fanya wachezaji wetu nguvu iweze kurudi back na tuweze kushinda.
And that's how we wrap up Newswatch tonight. Thank you for your company. I've been your presenter, Melissa Odor. Boniface Morethi has been helping us on the sign language side. Have a blessed night.